Hey there, YouTube. Steve here. Oh, cold weather coming in. Looks like we can get some good trucking in this week, maybe. But I'll get my 4 Evansvilles. Should have been 5 if it wasn't for that snafu on my part with the drug test. But I got 3 more Evansvilles Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And it doesn't look like the roads will be too bad to run this week. Next week is looking a little more sketchy. Most of that snow they were calling for turned into rain. It's been raining like crazy. I shouldn't say like crazy, but raining here in northwest Indiana. That line was pushed back just enough that where that front come up, it kept us kind of on the rain line for most of it. It's snowing now, but for next week, brutal cold coming in. We've got, I seen one day, according to Verizon, not Ryan Hall, y'all, I don't know what he's saying, but or Direct Weather, he's pretty good weather YouTuber as well, but Ryan Hall's more popular than of the two of them. But Verizon is calling for days, a couple days in there. The one day was -2 for the high. Ooh, -2 for a high. And the lows were, I don't know how cold the lows were, -7 or -9 or something like that. Several days of minus single degrees for nights. 4 or 5, at least kind of from Sunday to Wednesday or Thursday, I don't know. I do not like to truck in that kind of weather. Cold. Bad things happen. And then the problem is if something bad does happen, you have a breakdown of some kind or another, it gets dangerous. It's one thing to have your truck break down on a 40-degree day on the side of the road. It's another thing to have your truck break down on a -2-degree day on the side of the road. Much different. You got, there's a lot of wires, there's a lot of rubber airlines, plastic airlines, a lot of vibrations going down the road. And when it's cold like that, there's just a lot that can go wrong. So I don't know what I'll truck next week. Right now I'm thinking about maybe taking off that Monday and Tuesday. That's going to be highs than, -1 or 2. And then on and then later in the week, even later in the week, it was still only highs of 13. But there's a big difference between a high in the teens and a high in the negative. They're all still cold, but is that little bit of revenue worth tearing up your equipment and having it in the, you get fuel lines gelled, and you get a wrecker call, or you get, have to have a service done, or not a service, but have to have a maintenance road crew come out and try to save you. Heck, you can gobble up whatever kind of revenue you were going to make for that week with one just little incident. Not to mention, if it's going to be that cold, if you do have an issue and your truck is in the, where you're like on the road, the shops are going to be swamped busy, because there's going to be trucks. I mean, that's when everything breaks. The guys that are out on the road gelling, and I mean, the shops will be a disaster zone trying to get in and out of them. So heck, you could have 2 or 3 days just waiting to get it in the shop, if you can get it to a shop. So I don't know. I do not know. I could use the revenue, that's for sure. We always can, though. I mean, that doesn't really change, I guess, but I'm leaning away from it right now. I don't like to drive in the fog. and almost never do, ice, I refuse to drive when it gets icy. I mean, unless it's just you're in a spot where you got to try to get to somewhere safe, because everybody drives so fast, and next thing you know, you're in the ditch and your truck's tore up, and what little revenue you'd have made for that week is a distant memory by the time you get to fixing plastic pieces on these trucks that shattered like glass when you run them in a ditch at 2 degrees. A lot of times you'll never know the headache that you saved yourself when you use caution on those days. But yes, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know what you guys are thinking. Leave a comment section, or leave a comment down and see what you guys are thinking about running in that cold weather. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? What kind of conditions you don't like to drive in? I said ice I don't care for at all. Fog I don't care for at all. If it's snowing, I don't mind driving in the snow, even if it's a little windy. I mean, I don't prefer it, but I'll do it if I need to. And I don't even really mind running when it's a little cold outside, but when the highs are negative, or low single digits for the high, and here in Indiana, well, everywhere in this time of year in America, it gets dark so early, so you're running in the dark either in the morning or at nighttime. So it gets cold. My point of that was it gets cold faster once that sun goes down. But heck, we're going to be halfway through January by then, by next week. We'll be halfway through January this weekend, but we'll be, a little further, so we'll be getting a little more sunlight in February, and February, we don't get, with these El Niños, you don't get a lot of big snows in February, usually, but it can get really cold. What happens is that cold air pushes down from Canada and pushes that jet stream further south, and then you get storms up them nor'easters up the East Coast. But here in the Midwest, the air is so cold, and that low pressure is so strong, it doesn't let the jet stream pick up moisture off the Gulf and bring it up on top of us, which is what they thought was going to happen today, but it hasn't been so bad so far, or Tuesday. Anyway, guys, I'm just thinking out loud here about this bad weather, cold weather coming in, seeing what you guys are thinking. And like I said, leave a comment down below. And once again, thanks to the new subscribers and everybody. I appreciate it. And make sure to leave a comment what you're thinking, and we'll get through this. It's only a few more weeks and it'll be springtime, and then we can truck like crazy. So God bless everybody. We'll talk soon.